Well, I'm going to go ahead and start. I hear that the coffee's brewing, so it's a good time, a good segue into the event. Well, thank you again for joining us. Today is December 1st. It's World AIDS Day today. Many of you joined us during the beginning portion, which was the march, in which we have our shirts. And now we're all warmed up and we're ready for the actual presentation today. So at times I might have a gap just to ensure that the Spanish piece is being translated as well. So the agenda for today will be the World AIDS Day presentation, which is right now. In addition to a couple slides I have here, there's also a panel of doctors who will be speaking on their experiences working in the HIV field abroad, specifically in Haiti and in Ghana. That's part of the day today. There will be, there's breakfast down the back, and there will be lunch served around noon time. And there's also testing available back in our offices, appointments available today, right now. Omira is waving, she has the appointments. So whoever's interested, please see her. She will give you an appointment card and more information. So how's everybody doing today? Great. Great, awesome. So World AIDS Day, what is World AIDS Day? World AIDS Day was established by the World Health Organization, and the first World AIDS Day was held in 1988. So it's 21 years since this event has been held every year for the last 21 years. And World AIDS Day is to raise awareness of HIV throughout the world, not only in the U.S., but in other countries, to raise awareness about testing, about knowing statuses, about treatment, about care, and very importantly, about support as well. The message of this year's campaign is universal access and human rights. And I'll spend a little more time on what exactly that means. That is the official logo for the World AIDS Day. So some of these facts I researched on the UNAIDS website, and it's estimated that 33.4 million individuals are living with HIV/AIDS around the world. It is also estimated that 1 million of those individuals are living in the United States. So about 32.4 million are living abroad with HIV/AIDS. The million people that live in the United States, there's this fraction, many of you might have heard this already, but it's something we need to keep in the forefront. They state that 500,000 people that live in this country are aware of their status and are in care. There's a quarter of that fraction that does know they're HIV positive, but is not in care, is unable to receive treatment due to maybe access, situations, or just not in care. And they say that a quarter is not aware of their status, and therefore not in care. So we really want to reach people that are aware of their status and not in care, and we engage them to come back and establish care with their doctors here in the U.S., of course. We want to talk to people that are not aware of being HIV positive, but what risks are to HIV, and maybe coming in for a session and getting tested with us. That's who we want to target, that quarter, that 500,000 people in the U.S. that may be aware of their status and not in care, or may not be aware of their status. One of the major themes of this year's campaign is universal access, and that's in reference to access to treatment, access to prevention services, access to care. And it's known that people that are in HIV treatment, infections are reduced because people are treated, their viral loads are low, transmission is less possible if people are in treatment. Another figure that I received from the UNAIDS website was that 4 million people are currently receiving treatment across the world, which is great. Access has been expanded greatly. But yet there's 9.7 million people that are in need of HIV treatment. So that furthers the spread of HIV. The other theme for World AIDS Day this year is human rights. It's a known fact that human rights violations increase the person's risk to HIV. In groups that are vulnerable, are marginalized in society in general. And some of these groups tend to be men who have sex with men, injection drug users, sex workers, women, people that may not be able to access services or may not have information about HIV, may not have access to condoms, may not have access to bleach kits or syringe programs. That puts you potentially at a high risk for HIV. There's also a new, excuse me. This year, the U.S. lifted the entry ban to allow HIV-positive individuals to enter the country. Prior to that, if an individual went through the immigration process to request a visa, part of the testing was an HIV test. If the person was HIV positive, only under special circumstances would they be allowed into the country. We did away with that. President Obama did away with that. Now HIV-positive individuals are able to come to this country and receive access to treatment, to prevention services, to better care. So that's definitely a step in the right direction, in my opinion. So what can we do? What can I do individually? What can we do as a whole about HIV? The number one thing would be to start by knowing your status. Start by talking to your friends about HIV, talking to your family members about HIV, educating yourself about what HIV is, how people are infected with HIV, how people prevent getting HIV, how to live healthy with HIV. Educate yourself, basically. That's what we can do. Another thing is to talk. Not only do you talk to your sexual partners, you talk to your friends, you talk to people, your drug buddies, people you use with. Talk about what's real. Talk about, getting tested, maybe going together, maybe finding out information. That's what we could do in this fight. Reducing your risks. Reducing your risk could mean many different things. Learning about risk might be the first way to start. Condoms are available to reduce your risk, as well as bleach kits are available to reduce your risk. There's causes, there's many volunteers. Find some time if you're able to volunteer for an AIDS organization. Money is something that's tight, but time is always valuable and priceless. So that's what we could do for HIV. Anybody have other opinions as far as what they could do in the HIV fight, in working together?
Get the community more involved.
Right, and this is
that's very important. Yeah.
Getting people aware, getting the community aware. Yeah, I think something as simple as marching around the park like we did. Did you see the amount of people that honked horns, that waved, that just stopped and thought about it? Right. And you're absolutely right. Community awareness. So a little more information about getting tested. It's free. It's voluntary. Nobody could force you to get tested. You walk, you decide when you're ready. Confidential. The results could take 1 to 2 weeks to receive if you get conventional testing, regular HIV testing. There's also rapid testing available, and that would be a same-day result. You would get your results the same day you receive the test. And the HIV test looks for the antibodies to HIV. Does anybody know what the antibodies to HIV are? Anybody? It's a pop quiz. No? Antibodies to HIV, that big word means the fighter cells. So what your body would produce to fight off the virus. So when we test for HIV, we don't look for the virus, we look for the fighter cells that your body is going to produce to fight the virus. The fighter cells will only be there if the virus is there. That's what we look for. No, those are your fighter cells too. CD4. More information about our testing program. We offer obviously HIV testing. We also offer chlamydia and gonorrhea testing. via urine sample. Syphilis screenings as well. Those are via blood. And also hepatitis B, hepatitis C screenings, and hepatitis A and B vaccinations as well. These services are all free to all members. And we accept walk-ins, we recommend appointments, we have appointment. Omira's down the back if people are interested in appointments. And those are our testing hours.